Hello everybody, this is Alexander. I am back in the pottery studio today. This is the last day of the 12-week course that I was doing. I only had one pot that was out of the bisque kiln, so I needed to glaze that. I'm sticking very simply with my glazes. I just like a bit of white and blue pottery. This time I decided to experiment, so after putting on a white glaze, I decided to experiment with some cobalt oxide to see whether I would get a nice effect. Just varying dilutions, and then I added a bit of nice shiny blue glaze at the bottom for a bit of contrast. Then, because I had nothing else to do really, I could either go home and waste the time, or I could make some new pots. So here I am weighing out some clay to go do some practice on the wheel, which I will then finish in the open studio. I'm really enjoying throwing on the wheel. It's not something that comes naturally to me, and to be perfectly honest, I don't like my hands being particularly dirty. I have had a couple of instances of not throwing it properly, but I think it's best to learn from the mistakes. Sometimes you have to do that. With this pot specifically, I drew too much up in the beginning, and so I cut the top of the rim off and just made the best of it, to be honest, because I get a plant pot out of it in the end, which is quite nice. I think the hardest thing is actually the original pulling out. So the first pull that you have to put up. As you can see there, some of them I will just cut in half and see what the kind of wall thickness is and the consistency. But as I go on, I think it gets a lot better. I did buy a trimming tool and a nice sharp metal kidney to help get all of the slip off at the end. I wanted quite a nice sharp long one, so I could do this action at the end, which is me scraping all the slip off so I can then take it off with both my hands. And especially a longer and taller piece, I think it's a lot easier to pick it up off of the wheel when there's no slip on the outside, and I think it dries just a little bit better. As you can see here, as I go along in this session, it does get a lot easier and a lot quicker to do. That last one specifically was very quick and it was very easy. As ever, always good to clean up. And then yes, here is my finished work. Quite nicely made 5 little pots. I will be back next week some point to finish them, to trim them up, and then they can go to be bisque fired. But next week I also have hopefully some of the other pots from earlier which will get to be glazed.